The time is now 5:47 and the date is Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. Jada is attending virtual. And I will now open the meeting and take a roll call. Jada? Oh, I apologize. And Brian is absent at this time. So, Jada?
Aye.
Keith?
Aye.
Lauren? Aye. And I'm an aye. Meeting is open. Please note we are doing a virtual meeting. If a member of the virtual public would like to make comments during a public hearing, please use the raise hand function on Zoom and you will be assigned a speaking time. If you are listening in via telephone dial-in, press *9 to raise your hand, then press *6 to unmute yourself. This meeting is being recorded by the local scene, and a record of this meeting will be posted on the local scene website as soon as they're able. Anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of this meeting should notify the chair at this time. Okay. Our first is updates tree farm landing cleanup.
Yeah, so after when were we out there? Like December?
Yeah.
Like so long ago. After we were out there in December, Matt reached out to Eversource and they have, I think the last time he talked to them about tree farm landing cleanup was like 2021. So obviously it's a new person.
Yep.
And talked to him about Eversource potentially assisting in site cleanup, which would look like letting us borrow a truck that we can like load stuff into at the very least to like truck things out of the site, as well as installing some additional gates where people are potentially like illegally accessing the town property through the Eversource right of way. And the guy who answered was very nice. His name is Justin. And he said that they sent out their own crews just to check out like their right of way area. They didn't find a lot of trash, but they did lock some of the gates that already exist. Because I think when we went there, like some of their gates were like sort of like hanging open. So they locked up their own gates. And then Matt and I have a site walk planned with him on February 12th. So we're going to go and like point out some of those areas and talk about potentially what Eversource can provide in terms of resources.
That's awesome.
I know, so exciting. He was like very responsive. So I know Matt was happy about that.
Yeah, that's great.
So we'll hopefully have more updates soon.
Good. That's awesome. All right, we will go to agent update on project needing attention.
Yeah, so the only update that we talked about that I have for this is Matt and I met with Amber Stearns, who's the Bay Circuit Trail coordinator. We met with her like 2 or 3 days ago, just because since she started, we hadn't connected with her. I don't know when she started, but kind of just to like talk in general. We like talked about Bay Circuit Trail in Kingston. There were some like parking areas on the Bay Circuit Trail map that were mislabeled. So Matt like asked her to fix some of those things. We also talked about connecting or getting the Bay Circuit Trail off of Grove Street. So like potentially connecting the trails between Three Rivers and Hathaway.
Oh, okay.
Like the only problem with that obviously is, I guess not obviously, it wasn't obvious to me, but the only problem with that is that right now the trail crosses over the railroad tracks, and that's over the street.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem. But if we were to take the walking trails off the road, then they cross the train track.
Yeah.
So that was like the only sort of like question mark they had. And then also doing that would probably require some like installing bog boards and like boardwalks and things like that. So we also are going to try to get out there with her, but probably not until the snow melts a little bit more.
Yeah.
But she was like, let's do a site walk. Like, let's go out, because she hasn't worked with Kingston too much since she started. So we're going to do that. And then she also said that she right now is starting to think about Earth Day volunteer events. And she said that if we have something that we want volunteers to do, she could probably rally like 10 to 15 people to come to Kingston and do something. So I didn't know if
I would, my brain just thought your wife does the Kingston cleanup, but you still do that, and it's typically around the same time.
Yeah, that's the like the
Right.
roadsides and everything.
Right, but if we could connect with them and make it a bigger thing, possibly.
Sure.
Unless there's anything that they have with properties that they're willing to do.
Right.
But we typically, I know they run like townwide Kingston Earth Day, or they've asked people to go out and clean your little areas up, or locally conservation area or walking trails.
Yeah, my wife puts that
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
So I think she coordinates with a couple other people, but,
Typically around elections and the Earth Day.
spring, yeah.
Yeah.
But you have all kinds of stuff on the road just anyway, but then the plows
Oh, yeah.
push it, just make a big mess out of all the
Right.
litter, and then, it's good to get out there. and clean
It was
up.
really big for a few years,
Right.
but if we could try to
Okay.
tie things in, that might not be a bad idea.
And it didn't seem like it had to be like Bay Circuit Trail specifically.
Oh, okay.
Like
Bay
it kind
Circuit
of
is a
could be
good-
any open
It's a good
space.
chunk.
Yeah,
Right. It runs through, I'm just looking at the map, trying to
Right.
get like
Oh,
very
yeah.
watershed. But it does run through a good portion of Kingston, so even anywhere, it's not on there, but I can picture every watershed in three, like kind
Yeah.
of ish.
Right.
Because we used to go into Silver Lake Sanctuary a lot, and it runs through Silver Lake Sanctuary.
Yeah.
So it's really pretty.
We need to add to this map
Yeah,
for us.
just a spot.
And whichever property has the most litter.
Right.
No, I'm trying
If
to
we do
think.
like an audit of them and figure out which one that is.
I mean, tree farm laning.
I know.
But not a lot of litter that
Yeah,
people can probably get out easily.
Yeah.
That's probably you gotta get further in there, and I think that one needs we need a truck from the
Yeah.
highway
Yeah.
department or so.
Or Eversource is willing to
Yeah, if there will.
put our truck out there and let us load it or something like that. That would be helpful too.
I mean, Cranberry is not in too bad shape.
Okay.
It's, you see a couple of cans here and there, but
Not
you
like
know,
it used to
not,
be.
not
Yeah.
crazy, yeah.
Awesome.
It's not too bad, at least
Someone
where.
saying one of the last times we spoke that the awful pits are also
The awful pits are always.
gathering more
Yeah,
trash.
yeah. I did camping, going to Camp Nikon, which I believe is pretty clean. I haven't been in there lately. Obviously not till the snow melts now, but
Right.
like North River and South River Watershed just did Camp Nikon as their spotlight property.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I was on Facebook all this. I was like, oh, and all these people like, gotta get out there. Oh my god, it's so. And I put like a little thing like, oh, there's been trails and I can't wait. And I'm like, but then there was also another guy that was like, quads rule. We don't care. EP is not going to stop us. Your camp's not going to stop us. I was like, okay, thank you.
Oh no.
Right, I'm just okay.
And where do you live, sir?
Right.
Right.
No, it's like a name there. It's just everything. I'm like, oh. I just screenshot it. I'm like, I don't remember your name. Thank you. So, but it was nice to see a lot of people did seem interested. So.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I'll have to get out there. Yeah, well, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Eversource, and that's great with Bay Circuit Trail.
Yeah.
And so if I will float these ideas about like, maybe potentially litter cleanup, or if we just do that ourselves to map, but then if you guys think of anything else.
Right.
That 10 to 15 random volunteers could be helpful.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. The next would be action items is Heinrich parking area workday follow-up.
Yes. So I took a few notes while we were out there. Matt also talked to Tommy Bouchard
okay.
because we had like talked about him maybe meeting us out there because he goes out there a lot. And he said that he's not surprised that we didn't find trails when we just kind of like busted in from the proposed parking area. They're not like super well defined out there. And he also agreed because we had talked about sort of like the next step for that would be like Matt and or I going out and like from the Wapping Road easement part of and seeing if maybe there's more defined trails out there.
Right.
Yeah.
We have not gotten to that yet. And then now there's like all the snow.
Right.
So we will get there when we can. And Tommy Bouchard also said that
Late April or between then and mid-May, especially if it's going to be a combined, working that in with a cleanup, because
right.
once everything starts coming to life again, you'll know how much is really needed to be cut back in there.
Yeah, and he said that there probably is more easily visible, at least trails from that direction. So we'll start there when we get there.
I mean, it wasn't hard to trudge through. It wasn't like
No.
too overgrown, right?
Yeah.
There definitely wasn't trails. It was pretty out there.
I was looking at the map again, the one that you had sent attached
Yeah.
to the invite or to the email about it. And it looks kind of like the neighbor has put some sheds and stuff on it. Did you sort of see that, or was
There
it?
is-
Neighbor next to the
there is
parking
actually
area.
an
Right,
issue.
yeah, there is a little encroachment, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's actually encroachment on both sides.
Okay.
I think one is from the driveway side and one is from the back side.
Oh, from the back.
Yeah, like there's like a weird.
With that new development or with the like?
With
some of
the current, I think the current, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But I do believe it's the driveway with the shed. Is that, I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think something's probably pretty important in the meantime. This can be done regardless of the weather, is to figure out what can we do, even if it's just temporary parking. Because what I was thinking is, the next time we go in, the amount of time it took us to walk through what's out there. We only went like from where the lot lines of the house were and that property that we went in on. We only went 2 or 3 house lot depths into the woods. And I was thinking about the amount of time it took to do that. And we were just trying to find a way that we can actually walk through. There's trees
Yeah.
down, some of the ground is boggy.
Yeah.
We probably need to cut like a 6 to 8 foot wide path through various tools, including chainsaws. And we're not gonna want to walk that down from, what was it, Old Mill or whatever the name of that road is?
Yeah.
And we probably need some trail flags.
Okay.
Because I didn't notice it on the way in, but on the way out, and I heard Brian said, it'd be nice to take the trail around that holly tree that's in there. But we were all dispersed trying to find a way in. So on a later date, if you went in and didn't do all this cleanup ahead of time, it's how much time does it take to get out to that drainage ditch where we kind of just stopped, right?
Right.
We need at least a working trail. It doesn't have to be the permanent trail, but something where we can cut our way through. So every time we get in there, we're going further and further in. And I think even if it's just a pull off the side of the road, like we could clear the ground and maybe get some gravel or anything that can level it up. So that way, at least if we can even just park one car, everyone can park on the side road. Someone can bring people and whatever equipment we need down.
Yeah.
If it's a trip or two. I won't want to have to carry a chainsaw, a can of gas, a can of oil, safety equipment,
Sure.
other tools, and a bottle of water
Right.
in that car.
Could you park in that little,
The little driveway that the neighbor has made, I think it's on the property.
I think it's like Matt, from what Matt said, it was like the driveway ended and then like it was cleared, but it's, excuse me, technically ours, so
Yeah.
you could argue, but like, you don't wanna start it.
Yeah.
Right, no, I know what you're saying, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, do you mind if,
Yeah, just for this, have
Right.
one truck there
Right,
so that we
like-
have all our stuff, we just
But
wanna
it wasn't,
block
I
traffic.
can't remember what it was like, it was pretty full.
You can always, I don't know if you guys could do it, but you can always send them a letter saying, we believe you've encroached on conservation
Right.
land owned by the town. If you would like to argue that, you can come to a conservation meeting and be on TV and do that. Or you could respond with a written notice saying, regardless of where the line is, you'll allow us to pull in and park.
Or,
Let us borrow it.
Right.
while we're-
Right.
yeah, we could definitely say, hey, we're looking, right, like, that's not an awful idea, the way you word it, it might not be, run it by, town council.
So I don't
Not
even
be a
know
bad
if
idea.
Conservation Commission would have the authority to settle that. Or to call somebody in and say, can we have a discussion about?
Yeah, they'd have to get plot plans, or they'd have to give us a plot plan of the house, you know what I mean, and show that that's their property, that's not that hard to do if you do a survey.
And if they are putting things there, did they put them,
Right,
even if it was their land, could they put them on land of that quality?
well, right, as a wetland, is it-
Yeah.
what is it?
That's
It's,
Yeah.
honestly.
I mean,
it's not
personally, I don't
bad.
care if somebody
If
has
it's
a little
raised, if
shed
it's
there,
accessible, if it's permeable, then we're not gonna rip it up, but.
Yeah.
We're nice people.
Has there been any communication with that neighbor?
I think so, because I think that was one of the ones Matt mentioned was concerned about like people behind it. I think, I'm not
Okay.
positive.
Oh, yeah, because of
Yeah.
the way to like.
Right,
The original proposal for the trails was just sort of like a
Yeah.
loop, right? And
right,
some of the, I think a couple of the neighbors in there were upset.
just worried or concerned that
Yeah,
they didn't
concerned,
want.
yeah, they didn't want people
Right,
peering in their
right, right.
window, I get it,
Right.
Yeah.
Like the zoo.
Yeah.
Okay. And Matt has said that because we're probably gonna need to remove some trees for the
Right.
parking area,
Yeah.
and he's not really come up with a plan for getting quotes for that or like coming up with a plan for that. So anything we wanted to do in the short term would be whatever we can do by hand, basically.
There were trees that came down in there that got hung up. And while there are methods for somebody with intermediate experience
Yeah.
to tie off that tree with special equipment so that it wouldn't come down accidentally and swing in a direction you didn't want it to go.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones that's kind of borderline. I mean, Brian and I could potentially figure something out. I believe Matt has had some kind of chainsaw experience.
Mhm.
But dealing with a tree that's at all vertical in the air
Yeah.
is dangerous. So I don't know if there's something we want to leave to I don't know if the streets, trees and parks department can handle that kind of a tree work,
Right.
or if they would sub that out, but, maybe we should think about a way to manage that. I just don't want it coming down at a, bad time. I think most of the cutting work that's in there are the horizontal trees preventing access, and that's easy enough for someone with intermediate experience.
Right. Just cut and drop, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and we had talked about like sign things and what we would put there, but that is sort of feels like a little bit
Right.
far out for right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there were funds, the trees, the parking lot, trail flags, if we need them just temporarily to figure it out. Of course, trail markers, but also, we're gonna need some timbers in there, some fresh treated wood to get through the wet areas.
Yeah.
And I think between the Sampson Fund or whatever CPC could do, you probably have a few years of applying, because Sampson Fund, you're very limited, small amount, you can take a bite at it every year.
Right.
But, why put up a, signage and a nice kiosk and maybe a fence with a gate or whatever, like you
Right,
have
if
over
it's-
at Blackwater or whatever, because once they're in there, there's nowhere to go.
Right.
I mean, there's someplace to go, but we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
When we spent like 3 hours in there, when just as far as like three lots deep,
We-
get a drainage ditch.
Be there for an hour.
It was only an hour? Because we weren't actually doing any work.
We were just walking. It was literally an hour.
It was cold. It felt like.
You're
rain.
probably right.
It was very cold.
Right before the snow.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Obviously funds, but we need a plan first.
Right.
Yeah.
So should we figure out, I mean, maybe it's premature to do it now, but we know we need some kind of timber, possibly some kind of footings if timber itself wouldn't serve that purpose. That I'm pretty sure we need in the flags, if we don't already have them. I think you'd want to mark where you're cutting before you just start and then wind up over cutting what you didn't need to cut at the beginning.
Could you see like a natural flow for a path? Obviously, I couldn't make it that day, but was it just sort of like woods and you would have to pick a path through it, or is there already somewhat of a
There's not
path
much of
trail
a-
kind of thing?
It wasn't much of a path.
No,
It
yeah,
it was
yeah.
also a deer path.
I think clearly you'd probably go straight through, except if Brian found that holly tree, suggested it's a point of interest, so you
Oh,
can
right.
hook around it. But then once you get past like all the housing lots are like this along West Street.
Yeah.
Once you're at just about that area, I think we went 2 or 3 deep into it. We kind of stopped with a little bit beyond where there was a drainage ditch of some kind. I think it looked like it was man-made, so it's fairly straight.
Okay.
And from there to somewhere like here, it's very boggy. There were some streams. And some of the streams even run under like where the tree roots were, like
Wet,
the
right.
water would just disappear and come out like went in a cave.
And it was open enough. You could meander some thorns, some, palm trees.
You're gonna
Yeah.
curve through that and find wherever the best place to put it is, and you're still gonna get some bog boards
It'll
down.
definitely be wetter in the spring.
Yeah, sure.
It was neat. It was nice.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely cool.
And where's the access on Wapping? It's like is it behind that new neighborhood that they just put in to the right? I don't know how to explain it.
Does it run along Koi Pond? Or what used to be Koi Pond?
I'm trying to find where I think I might have just stored that map locally, but I can try to find it.
It was in the email you sent as well.
Yeah.
It was down somebody's driveway.
Yeah, there's a couple of older houses,
Yeah.
and then they just built this like new.
Not the new one. I think it's closer to the old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know Koi Pond's new name. Like Meredith or Matt.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can call Jane.
That's okay. I can bring it off of my little phone.
I don't think I just didn't open my computer today.
And
Sick of staring at it.
Oh, understandable. Try to sit over here. Are you dying? What's going on?
Frozen.
It's me. How did the mouse connect?
Oh, I see. Here, I got it.
When did I send that?
You sent it to 1:15. January 15th.
Oh. Almost there.
Yeah, it's sort of in between, it's like behind the new neighborhood.
Okay.
And it looks like it goes, you can pass it around. So it's like that's west there.
Oh, so it's not too far.
No, it's not too far. And that's like a new neighborhood. And then these are all older
Just older,
houses,
okay.
probably 50s, 60s, maybe
Wow.
even older. And then there is a little dirt road. And I've often thought about walking down it, but you really look like you're like
Right.
in somebody's neighborhood.
That had.
Which part? Yeah, that
Right.
right, yeah. So it is like a little dirt road, but you really feel like you're on somebody's property.
Okay.
There's a couple times when I thought about trying to walk down there to see like what the property was like.
Yeah.
But it feels like
Is there a sign or anything at the end of that?
No.
Nothing that says like, okay.
it just sort of feels like somebody's gonna come out and be like, "What are you doing?"
Why we're trying to park somewhere else.
Yeah, which is why I know.
I'm expecting the land my taxes pay for. What do you
I
do?
know, right?
Yeah. Okay.
There was some uncomfortableness with that, a butter.
With that butter. Yeah.
I mean, you feel like parking in their front yard, but
Yeah. And they've been there for a while, I think, or at least the property's been there for a while. Yeah, you can see how much wetland is in there.
Yeah.
there's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that.
Which is
it'd be
fun.
worse. Right.
Yeah. It's great. Actually, I was just thinking because I drive down West Street all the time to go. I live on Old Mill, and there's like one spot where the peepers are just like such
yeah.
a chorus in the spring that I like stop and listen to them. It's such like a hopeful kind of spring.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Soon hopefully shouting. Yeah, I know. It is very fun in there.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly have like flagging tape and like our
Right.
in the closet,
Yeah.
so we could at least go out and try to start marking where we want to cut things, like bring some hand tools.
Yeah.
And have the things to do that from the proposed parking area.
Right. And I have a friend who's intermediate, I'd say, with stuff, so I can bring him along too. I wouldn't ask him to do, just like as you were saying, like I wouldn't think that it's probably a great idea to be doing a leaner, but certainly he can help with
I
the
have
down
a
stuff.
friend on West Street that he was interested.
Okay.
He takes down trees on his property. When I never been there when he's done it, but when I go there and look at what the trees that are left, I think, how did you take one of these down without breaking your house or killing your family?
Yeah,
So I don't know what,
yeah,
but I mean, there are people who will come out and certainly help. It's just,
yeah.
I don't know if there's liability on the town for that
Mm,
or what. It's just, I don't know if that's a risk where it's the hung up tree is bad.
yeah, no, I agree. I think that's one to get the tree, the actual tree people to do.
But we can certainly use people just for all the rest of the general.
Yeah, I mean, just driving by, you can see like how many are just down in that proposed parking area.
Because we spent time just trying to figure out can I get around this? And it's like,
Yeah.
sometimes it's a tree, then it's another one. It's like, can I go around or do I have to try to climb over?
Yeah.
We
And
were
it's-
climbing over.
And if you're carrying in tools or whatever.
Yeah.
Further in you go, the less work you want to do to get there.
Yeah, sure.
So just start at the beginning and,
Yeah.
cut our way in.
Yeah.
But it's very peaceful. The only thing you're gonna hear in there is aircraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you get like past the lot
Very,
spaces.
very relaxed in there. It's very, peaceful place.
Nice. Yeah, that's great.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be fun if we could get like a big group out there. Have
Yeah.
People just like
Right.
Yeah.
marking. Obviously, we would maybe go out and mark first or something.
Sure.
The guy I know
Hey, what's that people
keeps
leave?
asking, when are you guys gonna do something with the Henrik Rock? I want to get involved in that. I said, great, why don't you join the open space committee? No, I want to be involved in
Right.
that.
Wants to go cut things
Right.
down.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to join me.
Walk
Yeah.
through, so.
Yeah.
So fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, which I'm excited about.
Great.
Yeah, great. Good. Well, sounds like good spring. It does sound like we have a sort of phased approach to it of doing parking area first, trying to at least clear that out enough for a truck or get the
A butter.
neighbor to let us park in their little driveway thing and then maybe start flagging would have. Yeah,
I think flagging is a good idea, but I think you're pretty much cutting and then putting the flags in the beginning. Either saying, we're cutting this, but this is where I think the permanent trail will go. Or if you're deeper in the woods, think some areas got to be easier, then you could say, okay, now we can just flag and come back and do the cleanup later. But I remember spending a lot of time just trying to figure out between climbing the trees, trying to get snagged on thorns. And then we get to the wet area, just being like, maybe if I went that way.
Yeah.
Right?
fair. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah. I mean, not good, but like good feedback.
It's not, yeah.
I mean, most of it's light. Most of it's gonna be
Yeah.
snippers. We have those fold out little bow saws with the big teeth.
Mhm.
So a little bit of work with that. Loppers for anybody who, to get anything to ground level. So you don't want to cut off like a brush and leave a little stump that's gonna trip somebody or hurt their foot or anything. And then, I think there's probably at minimum, Brian and I have chainsaws. We've chainsawed together, so I feel comfortable around them. You did some work out the hall property, and I think we're both fairly safe. So there's probably like an hour or two worth of just cutting through the trees and moving those logs out. So if somebody else was snipping everything,
Sure.
and we were just plowing through, the next time we get there, we'll be at that ditch that we kind of ended around. Just be at that ditch and saying, okay, now, you'll be there in 5 minutes and say, okay, now what do we do?
Right.
Go over the ditch and then start marking the next section.
That's great.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
We're going to explore a little bit because we never got sight of a trail. And I think from that point, you could potentially go straight in. You go to the left a little bit or the hard left, or you can go kind of a hard right, but you might be close to neighbor properties.
Right.
Yeah,
I want like 3 teams of 2 to go exploring,
We'll have to see what exists from the
The easement, yeah.
event as well, because it might be at least something.
Or easy enough to tie into, maybe. We could have been closer than we thought on the maps,
Right.
I mean,
Right.
like GPS is, we'll have like
Right.
accurate
Great.
assessment.
Let's say if we took like your maps,
Yeah.
we had them printed out and then had teams listed, we could just figure out, either, each team probably should have someone with a good sense of direction. And then, a chainsaw
Right.
person or something to evaluate what the work they're looking at is gonna be and whether we can do it on our own so we can plan. Cell phone numbers,
Right.
and then just go in and report back. And if you're not seeing anything, you're like, this is a lost cause, there's no trails direction. Call or text it out and say, I'm returning back to the muster point, wherever that is.
Yeah. Yeah, could even print it out. That could be fun. Great.
Yeah, and like I said, it was very nice in there. That was very peaceful, it was quiet. I think, like, on our way out, we just stopped and started talking about what was it, owls and bats. It's nice.
There was the people who had like goats across the street.
Yeah.
It's cheap too.
Yeah.
Very friendly, very friendly. guys.
Yeah, they're very friendly,
That's cool. They could stay right there. I like it. I don't know.
Oh, no.
I don't think so. All right, our next thing is a trail work inventory spreadsheet.
Yes.
I haven't done anything with it. I meant to go update it after our trip in there, but
I've kind of just been leaving it on the agenda.
Right.
So that we.
oh, yeah, I that was something I asked for originally that I thought there was always a discussion around it. If there wasn't, we just moved past it.
Right, and the only thing I would say would to be updated would be the Heinrich. I think
See it felt both ways.
Right, or announcer, right,
Yeah.
okay,
It's not as bad as Hallsbrook / Stony Brook.
yeah.
Same brook, 2 different names.
Yeah, that is.
Still both used.
Yep. I didn't know if there was anything under that we could update in that sheet for the, I don't think so. I don't think it
I
was.
looked at it because I was trying to make sure I had access and it was, I think, accurate. So it says parking not yet or something like that.
Okay. Not that there's much to update, I just didn't know if there was anything to update, right?
Okay.
Hunting allowed was, thinking for that.
Yeah. Okay, well, the next one would be open forum. Does anyone have anything for open forum?
I would say that if you still wanted to do work days for the next 2 months, being the way the weather's been,
Mm.
we should probably plan an indoor work day, whether we have to book a meeting or depending on what we're talking about, but it might be something we could do if we could either wanted to plan some trail connectivity or maybe, come with a list of properties we want to work on, or if we have anything to do for the open space plan, doesn't need to be done outside.
Yeah, I took it off the agenda because I was like, there's no, but yeah,
Right.
if there was like inside things that we needed to do.
I mean, like I said, we could potentially on whether it's another Tuesday night or a Thursday night or something, I don't know, but if we had some work we could do, we could just sit in here and do it.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. There's something useful, keep us out. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, we've been talking with obviously BCT now, so if we wanted to like talk about,
Or have a meeting or something on Gem or, yeah.
see if maybe she would want to meet with us because like Matt explained to her like Conservation Commission versus Open Space Committee, like all of that.
right.
So, and she seemed like interested in obviously like, you guys.
I was gonna ask about the trail cam, Matt's little trail cam.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that any updates or anything neat or anything?
Not really. So, Leon was able to actually go out and retrieve cameras, I think from Tuxet.
Okay.
And then was gonna put them, I don't know what the name of the property is behind the high school.
Cranberry watershed.
Yeah, he was gonna put them there, but could not access.
Okay.
So, but so we went out actually near the senior center and threw some cameras out there.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Which was fun to like, trot around in the snow.
Yeah.
He hasn't seen a ton from what I saw of raccoons,
Yeah.
deer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if we've gotten any carnivores yet,
Okay.
any fishers or anything. The way that he's been baiting them is by taking a sardine can and just like nailing it to the tree, which is like crazy to me. And one raccoon did get the can like off the tree and
Wow.
with it. So that was fun. But I know he's still mostly just trying to get the cameras out and collecting data and hasn't done a ton of like image processing yet.
That's great.
So,
Figure that out.
We'll keep updating.
Yeah.
As he gets some fun things. Matt thinks he saw Fisher tracks near the senior center, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I think he's hopeful.
We've definitely had one in the woods behind our house.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Yes. I mean, there was a ton of rabbit tracks back there. So you're like Fisher.
raccoons,
Yeah.
Fisher. We
I've
had a
got
coyote
fox.
recently. Yep.
Nice.
We had a
We had-
fisher at my house too,
Yeah.
yeah.
We had a hawk. We had an owl. But now, according to Brian, the owl got the hawk.
Oh,
He saw a dead hawk
interesting.
with an owl next to it.
Interesting.
And I was like, where the hawk went? We've had the same, I think it's the same hawk, but we've had one for years. And I noticed, I was like, oh, I haven't seen that. I was like, I just figured it's like winter. I don't know. That's fine. But no. Brian's house is here. There's cranberry bogs. My house is here, and my backyard leads the same cranberry bogs that
Oh.
Brian. Yeah, so it's kind of like, oh, I walked that. I was like, oh no. Okay, so that's sad, but
At least owl about
it is neat. I mean, it's neat, but we've had a ton of stuff back there. There's a big runnel pool back there, so we think that the
nice.
hawk was living in the.
Oh, really cool.
But
was.
well, if there's nothing else for open forum.
Well, do we want to pick a date to like do some inside trail planning or?
Well, I think we'd probably have to figure out how we're even gonna go about that.
Yeah.
One of the things I think is if we're gonna do connectivity, we probably need a map of the town that's fairly detailed, like printed out, maybe in a few copies. We would need the trails brochures. We'd have to kind of know where where the entry and exit points, all those properties are. Because the program that some of us have been talking about is making it so you can walk from one land to the other, park someplace centrally, and walk in a loop in, one corner of town or another, with sort of that southern part, Plymouth Carver border being something I think Matt said, well, I'm going to just take that because he already had ideas what he was going to do. The rest of it, that's what I built the inventory for, was to start figuring out
Right.
these things. And, it takes a bit of time, but I think I can give some more detail on what was recommended to us to kind of do, but we would definitely need some maps and some resources and have the inventory on a laptop or something with us.
Sure. See if there's anything that we can wrap into the open space plan too.
I could probably email out a better summary than I could give here.
Sure. Yeah, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
everything's GIS mapped, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably just a little widget that would tell us what the
Overlap or
optimal,
even, right.
optimal connection between the trails are.
GPT.
I know, I was just thinking that too.
Right, but there's gotta be
Deb
something,
and I would totally do it.
right, but it's something that you could, there is probably something you
Yeah.
can load all this stuff and
Yeah.
say overlap it or connect it
Yeah,
or.
connect it, yeah.
Right, but then,
Connected the most efficient way, although
Right,
it's probably
right.
not the most scenic way.
right, well, then you'd have to add
Yeah,
in like without easements around private property.
Yeah,
But
yeah. That might be too hard to build.
it's been hard for
Yeah.
us, but not for.
Well, I got the idea because what Lexington has is they have a program that's branded across Lexington, and it means accessing conservation, recreation, open space, schools and streets. And when I was discussing it, they have some literature online you can find. Some of the people here in the townhouse, they were a little concerned about having trails go through school properties because you could have somebody with a predatory nature hanging around, easy way in, easy way out.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that every opportunity to access a back corner of the school lot would be a problem. It's just something I think that's take case by case. But
Right.
what they did was because they have a lot of central parking lots because all the tourism, you can park somewhere between the Minuteman Trail, which they've integrated into this, in their neighborhoods, all their water department properties. They've got so many schools in that town. They bought up old farm fields, which are just beautiful. Some people just private land they've allowed access to. They create this sort of integrated network of what are basically a bunch of figure eights. So you can park here, you can walk for 3 hours, come back here and say, I could do another 2 or 3. And then from there, before you can go back to your car, come back. And you can do that all through town. So and they use this roadsides, whether they're sidewalks or not. And, you have your A path. It's not just a trail because it's really just defining, here's a place where you can walk that includes walking on pavement or something.
Mhm.
And then you might have your B path system over here, but they might share some roadside. That might be called the AB path. So they have all these little trail markers on the roads. Let's say you're on path A or path B or path AB or something like that. You get a map and they have QR codes. They'll explain, well, this farm used to be this or that, or here's where you might find this wildlife, or the lost go back the other way. I don't know what they. It's really fun.
Turn around here.
The story I've always told is my wife and I we used to do a lot of long distance walking. Because we do the Dana-Farber Jimmy Fund Marathon Walk Day. So we have to be ready to do 26.2 miles. So for years when we go out in the spring and walk 5 miles. And somewhere by early fall, we'd walk 28 to 30, so we were in the best shape we could be for the walk day. So one of the systems we'd use is the Minuteman bike path. There's a parking lot in Lexington, and we'd walk almost out to like Bill Ricker or something. And turn around and say, okay, well, it's a daunting task to get home. And the worst part about it is we're just going to look at everything we just saw to get here. So one day we were just walking, and my wife sees a sign for a trail system that goes down from the rail berm into a little bit of wetland. And there's a path, and you come up in a neighborhood, and the sign says go this way. And then before you know it, 3 hours later, you're back at your parking lot. We started. And then we started looking it up online, saying there's got to be something else like this. And from there was another one that loops. So we could get like 8 to 12 miles walked without having to walk over the same land twice. Every town has this everywhere.
Right.
And then when I came back to Kingston, so I grew up here, but when we moved back, I said, we have so much conservation land. And there's an open space, and it's not, most of it isn't really connected to one another. It's driving down, I'd go down the road to see where they were, and some of them don't even have parking lots.
Right.
Well, we're getting better at it, but this would help too.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it would be certainly like possible to, map out where's the town-owned properties and try to find existing trail maps as best we have them, although I don't know how up to date those are. And like have all those things available. Yeah. It might just take some time to dig through all the file systems and everything, but
Some of the real
be possible.
Some of the real work will be just, the way the system works is you might have a woods with a trail like this out to a road. But you're on this road, so you have to figure out how to get that trail to go this way and direct a walker either way. But they don't want to go necessarily around inside. They just want to go back and continue the main loop.
Right.
So sometimes you're creating those access points. But one of the things I thought would be a great benefit is that if it was, like where I live, the distance I have to go from the upper Indian Pond Road area, it's actually not if I did a straight shot, I could get the walking road very easily. I've got my son's friends live over on West Street. But yet I have to go like basically the center of town and back out again because there's nothing that connects. I started thinking about how many people probably walk to the store or whatever, or would walk to the store instead of driving.
Yeah.
If there was just a really good path they could get from their house or whatever. And I've seen that in other towns, people just use these paths to, you can see them walking back with a bag of groceries. They didn't feel like driving, nor should they.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the idea.
Oh, it's not a bad idea. Right.
I'll ask our GIS lady at work. That's what he said. Right? Absolutely. She's the for me, so she'll be happy. Because it would be nice, like it'd be great if we could at least get like a start, right? And then you still need humans, obviously, all of us to like look at it and make sure it makes sense. But like maybe there's a way to at least get a 50% or 40% solution, right?
Even just a start.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, the tricky thing is some of the roads that you would think, okay, this would be a great road because it's easily connects something. It's not going to be safe for walking.
Right. That's the challenge.
But then we can verify that.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. That's a fun idea. Yeah.
We'll work on that for sure. If we have nothing else, then the next thing is future meetings, and that's it, which would be March 3rd. Right.
So if we're ready for something sooner, potentially pick a day, but otherwise we just wait till March 3rd and maybe make the work part of that meeting.
We could do that.
Right. That would give us a month to.
Right. Yeah. Sort of find out what the map situation
What do we
is,
have?
what do we have for inventory? Yeah. That's a good idea.
Okay.
One of the recommendations was given to me by the planner was don't necessarily plan the exact path system yet. What she said was take a map of the town and create these sort of spherical or circular type regions with arrows. So she was concerned that if you identified certain places to go to, and they might be land that the town hasn't bought yet, but you really wanted to get it or something, you'd have to be very careful not to alert potential developers. Hey, this is land the town thinks might come up for sale or whatever. You want to be very careful with that. So the idea was to make these abstract concepts of where they were going to be and then start working out the ones that maybe had the least risk for that.
Okay.
And then on the trails, in the inventory, I've marked some of the ones I don't know could integrate very well. Because Calista Farm is a beautiful property, but by the time you get to it, you realize it's just one way in, one way
Right.
out.
There's not
There's
much.
ocean on the other side of it and neighborhoods that are all dead ends.
Right.
And then there's like L Knife a little further away in the highway. So it doesn't really match well. If I was on Main Street, not that I want to walk by all the cars and everything, but if I was hitting up like Patuxent and something on the Nook or whatever, going up that way, I wouldn't necessarily want to go out of my way down there and then come back up.
Yeah, I had never even heard of that before I joined you all.
So
Oh, it's
Calista,
different. Yeah. Now I know.
yeah, go check it out. It's
Yeah,
nice.
so check it out. Yeah. I think it's where Matt was thinking about doing some of the pollinator stuff. I think.
The only good thing with that is that it comes in one way and you can walk through it and get to a total different part of town. So that's the only, that's
True.
but
There's a
then-
couple different ways out of here, right? Or they all, I don't think it entirely abuts private property.
I don't know. I only know of the straight shot through to like right near the mall.
Because I've been up to the Bowser's Lane entrance.
Yeah,
But I seen them think there's some kind of a path or something on the other side.
there is a path into the development where the planner lives, because she was here trying to help. That her development was willing to help on their end to try to get back, because there's a lot of dog walkers and stuff, so I know that it can access from Bowser's Lane all the way through to, the one right across Ocean Hill, kind of Ocean Hill area. But there's not much on the other side. Other than the Nook and Calista Farm, but then you have to loop back, but.
Right.
Okay, it'll be worth looking into. Okay, well, we have nothing else, and I can do our closing remarks, and that will be that. The time you visit.
6:32.
Great. All right, well, if we have nothing else, I will do this. The next meeting will be held Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026, starting at 5:45. The time is now 6:32 p.m.
Motion to adjourn at 6:32 p.m.
Thank you. I just need someone to second it. Second. Thank you. All right. I will do a roll call. Jada,
Hi.
Steve,
Aye.
Lauren. Aye. Megan is an aye. The motion passes. The meeting is closed. Adjourned.